Yo, yo, yo. Good morning. I said good morning to you. I said good morning to you. What is good? Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorilla here. The definition. Tyrant's Bane. You know what I mean? I said good morning to you. I said good morning to you. It is Monday morning, and I'm driving back to Georgia for work. You know what I'm saying? Until Wednesday, then I gotta head back to handle some business in South Carolina. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? Man, sometimes the internet is a blessing, right? Sometimes the internet is a blessing because of information, right? Easy access to information. But then sometimes the internet is a curse because of easy access to information, right? Depending on what side of the information you're on and how positive or negative that information is. And in the case of Wes Watson, the information that he has coming out about himself is not very good at all. And much of it is coming from his own mouth. His own mouth is could possibly get him in more trouble than if he just kept his fucking mouth shut. But, you know, with individuals like Wes Watson, they can't help themselves because that's how the id is, right? Or people say ego, but a lot of times it's id. People act out of id rather than ego. Ego is essentially about self-preservation. It's about doing what's necessary, and then you got the super ego, but that's a whole nother ball of wax, right? What I want to get into today is how stupid Wes Watson is. And Wes Watson is a so-called alpha male. He's in that space, right, where he purports himself to be an alpha male, and he tries to teach other men to be alpha males and all these different things. And he basically goes about it the wrong way, or the destructive way, or he's not practicing what he preaches, all this, that, and the third. Well, recently, a couple months ago, he got into a fight at a gym with a guy he actually invited to the gym to fight, right? But it wasn't really a fight. He had help, and he used weapons, and basically he proceeded to beat the shit out of this guy, and it got caught on video on the gym cameras, and then he got on his own camera, the guy that got beat up. And Wes Watson, initially you can say, yes, he defended himself, but after he had the guy down on the ground, he continued to beat on him and his friends, with weights and weight belts and all this type of shit. Just, and kicking him in the head, all these different things, just taking it beyond the brink, crossing the line, right? And in Florida, there is a mutual combat situation that you have going on, where if two people agree to fight, well, then that's on y'all. But once it's demonstrated that the fight is over, you're supposed to stop. You're not supposed to keep stomping out and beating on guys when they're, and basically, Wes Watson brought this on himself because he feels like he's the recipient of so much hate that he invited a bunch of people to come to this gym that he gave the address for. He said, hey, you come to the gym, we go outside, we handle it like men, bada boom, bada bing, just me and you. Well, this guy actually showed up, but he didn't just show up randomly. He had a back and forth DM situation with Wes Watson, where they both agreed that they would fight one-on-one at the gym or outside of the gym. Guy showed up, said, all right, let's get it popping. Wes Watson was like, nah, get the fuck out of here. Well, how you doing that when you told this guy to show up? Oh, you didn't actually expect the guy to show up? Is that what we're thinking about? But basically, Guy showed up. Wes Watson, he pushed on Wes Watson. Said, all right, come on, man, let's get it popping, right? Pushed him. And Wes Watson got up, bada boom, bada bing, hit him with a weight belt, and then they started to go in on him. Now, Wes Watson was charged with some shit, some assault or some shit, felony assault, this, that, and the third, because he simply took it too far. And, rather than, I guess he's in court right now. He's going through the trial or whatever's going to happen. I think they're trying to work out a deal, right? Which is what he said on a live stream, like an idiot. But look, cops show up and they're talking to Wes Watson, trying to reason with him and trying to explain to him, like, look, yes, you can defend yourself. Yes, you guys can fight, right? One-on-one. You can have a one-on-one mutual combat fight, whatever. But once you have a guy on the ground, you have them subdued, you've already won, then you're supposed to stop. But Wes Watson insists that no, he should be able to continue to beat on the guy and even kill them. So he's telling the cops, next time I might kill a motherfucker, right? Just listen. This is not a very smart individual. Not a very intelligent individual, not using his mind like as he should, just so that he can appear to be a tough guy, even in front of the cops. Even when he's discussing this with the police, he is snitching on himself. He is acting arrogantly. He is basically saying that, no, I could have taken it further. I could have killed somebody, blah, 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 bada boom, bada bing. I don't know if this guy has a gun in his waistband, whatever. Just saying a lot of stupid shit right to the police. And these police are trying to tell him, no, that's not how this shit works. Even in the state of Florida, you can't just do that. You can't do it. Wes Watson don't give a shit, man. Hey, and that's pretty much on him. But that's the stupid part, right? You're running your mouth off to the popo about you wanting to be able to kill somebody that approaches you for a fight that you yourself invited to the fight. I can see if Wes Watson was like, I don't want to fight nobody. If he did his videos, it was like, look, man, I don't want no trouble. I don't want to do any violence. I don't want any of this. I understand you guys are haters, but, I don't want any problems. I don't want any trouble. I know you guys are calling me out. You don't want these problems, and neither do I. So please just leave me the fuck alone and let me live my life. But he can't do that, right? And that's where he initially acted in stupidity. By hopping online and telling people to show up. Now he told the police that this happens twice a week, which is probably bullshit, right? It's probably bullshit, but there was clearly an incident before where, some guy showed up and Wes Watson didn't want to fight him, and the cops showed up, and, I guess one of the cops that were there was there previously. And my question is, if you are inviting these guys to fight at some other guys, it's not even your gym, it's some other guys' gym. So you're inviting someone to commit violence at somebody else's gym. And then when they show up and they want to fight you, how are the police getting involved? You're the tough guy, right? Who's calling the police? The gym owner? Is it you? Why are the police showing up? Right? Why are the police showing up and you're supposed to be this big tough guy who don't need, you know what I'm saying? That he can kick everybody's ass and all this, that, and the third. Like, why do you need the police involved? Especially in the previous incident where you didn't even fight the guy. Did you need the police to show up so that you would not attack the guy, or vice versa? Now, here's my problem. Here's my problem with this. You have people out there that will excuse this behavior, right? Under certain circumstances, like the Officer Tatum. The Officer Tatum defended Wes Watson's behavior. And what's interesting about that is Brandon Tatum, the Officer Tatum, is a former police officer who should know better. Now, he was not a police officer in Florida, but he was a police officer in Arizona, and he should know that you can't just wail on somebody while they're on the ground and subdued and all that good shit. But, you know, Brandon Tatum, he's a particular type of individual. He's definitely a coon who would excuse this behavior because it just so happened to be a black guy that Wes Watson did this to. Now, if the roles were reversed and Wes Watson was a famous black guy, a famous so-called alpha male, you know, black guy, and he did that to a white man, you best believe that the Officer Tatum would go against the guy that got the beating. Trust me on that. And this is the problem I have, because people will excuse certain behavior for someone that they like or someone that they feel like they identify with, or if it goes against somebody that they don't like or a group of people that they don't like. The Officer Tatum does not like black people, right? He does not like black people, and in general, right? He might like some black people that are like him. He only likes black people that operate and think like him. And if you don't operate or think like Brandon Tatum, he could give a hot shit about you, right? And that's why he feels the need to let white folks know that he encountered for the first time that he's a good Negro. I'm one of the good ones. Don't worry about me. I ain't one of them over there. I'm a good Negro. That's the type of cat he is. Whatever. Anyway, I see the trolls are out early today. It is what it is. The trolls are out early. Thank you for coming by and trolling on my page. Anyway, but Wes Watson, right? You run your mouth to the police about what. See, what you're doing is you're showing intent, right? You're showing intent. And that's something that can be used in court to go against you. You're showing intent, and then when you're talking to your buddy at the restaurant, right? Because he also decided to run his mouth about the whole situation to, I guess, a friend of his, some rapper named Little Pump and Dump, or whatever the fuck his name is, Little Pump a Pop, or whatever the fuck his name is. He's talking about how, oh well, they were trying to give me 15 years. I'm trying to get it down to 3 to 5, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to continue to fight the case. But here's where he said the dumbest shit, right? He's talking about how, you know, this was actually a positive for him, right? It's a positive for him because it is a viral beatdown video, right? The most viewed viral beatdown video of a famous individual, right? A famous influencer. So that also, that even more, that shows that you have zero contrition, you have zero remorse for what was done, right? You believe that, you know, there is a net positive in the situation because the whole thing went viral, right? You think that that's a good thing. Now, he didn't know he was being recorded. But see, that's the thing about running your mouth to people you don't know. Exactly, Zane. Zane Stomper. I just basically got to Atlanta. Now we got this fucking stupid ass traffic. Oh my good lord. I'm basically in this stop and go bullshit. But yeah, exactly. You invited this energy to you. You drew this energy toward you. You are attracting these type of individuals to your life. You know, you give the address to the gym that you're going to work out at and the time, and what do you expect out of the millions of people that hate you, out of the that you feel hate you, out of the millions of people that watch you, out of the thousands that watch that don't like you? You don't expect any of them to be about that life. So when they show up, you act surprised, you act attacked. Oh, well, he came to do this and that. I didn't want no problems. Then why are you calling for problems on your Instagram account, in your videos? Why are you giving the address to the gym out? Why are you telling people what time to show up? And then when they DM you, you go back and forth and you talk about setting up a fight. You talk about setting up a head-up fade that you really did not intend to be a head-up fade, because when you saw the guy, you saw how big he was, you were intimidated, so you said, you know what, I'm gonna use a weight belt, I'm gonna get the homies involved, they're gonna use their dumbbells to swing at the guy, I'm gonna kick this guy while he's down, I'm gonna grab his hair, I'm gonna do all these silly things, right? I'm gonna do all this shit. Now the guy was stupid for showing up in the first place. Yeah. He needs to be held accountable for buying into Wes Watson's bullshit and taking the bait. Because I can guarantee you what happened. What's going on in Wes Watson's mind, this whole thing, in regards to inviting people and people hating on him and wanting to hurt him, is he wanted something like this to happen. And that's why he did it. But he wanted to be able to say, oh, well, I'm the victim. I got it. You know, they attacked me and I had to do something to defend myself. Well, the problem with that is that there is a such thing as the internet, where when you put out videos and you express, you can't use the victimless, you can't use the blameless victim excuse where you're trying to say you didn't want any of that energy, when you openly and repeatedly called for that energy to come to you. And you get in the DMs with a guy and go back and forth and tell him to come fight you. And then when he does, and you injure the man and you assault him beyond the reason, you want to act like you're innocent. You want to act like you didn't invite this bullshit. Well, in reality, when you call somebody out to show up to fight you, and they show up, and even if they're the first person to put their hands on you, you have no right to self-defense, because you asked for it. They showed up. Yes, they put their hands on you, but that is no excuse for you. That does not excuse you from having invited that energy in the first place. And then when you get them down and then you have them subdued and injured because you and your buddies went in on them, you can't then continue to strike them and then act like, oh, well, he started it. Hold on, guys, I gotta answer this call. Let me go. There's people that make a living, right, that earn a living in the public eye, that do things in the public eye that earn them a living, right? Journalists, that, YouTubers, content creators, all those types of individuals, right, that are in the public eye. You're a public figure. You are open, making yourself open to all manner of criticism, hate, bashing, threats, people talking shit about you. This is what you leave yourself open to. And you are not exempt. right? And even though these people, they type to you on the internet, you know, they're behind the keyboard, you think they're keyboard warriors. Oh, you's just a keyboard warrior. Oh, you ain't gonna do shit. You just running your mouth. Well, I hate to break it to you, but at someday, you know, especially if you are giving out your fucking address, you're giving your address out, you're talking all this shit, you're telling people to come fight you, you're sending DMs to motherfuckers telling them to come fight you, and you're giving, like, you are creating this problem for yourself. On top of that, you're a public figure. The more followers you have, right? Because that's how it works in the, you know, content creator space. Whether you're a alpha male motherfucker, whether you're a red pill guy, whether you're a black conservative, whether you're a boxing YouTuber, whether you're an anarchy YouTuber and all this other shit, you are not exempt. I am not exempt. I am not exempt from trolls. I'm not exempt from motherfuckers that are irrational and want to fight me for no reason. I'm not exempt from that. But what I'm not gonna do is, well, hold on, let me take that back, because I have invited specific individuals to come see about me because they was running their mouth and making threats, right? Like the clown shoe Lucas. But he himself is a content creator. He threatened my family, right? The amazing Lucas. And he told me, oh, I know where you do your live streams at, and blah, I know where you be at. I'm gonna come smack your kids. And I said, okay, we'll come on through with it. So yeah, I've done that. But guess what? I fully expected him to show up. It's not like I didn't expect the amazing Lucas to show up. It's not like I didn't expect Mighty Mouse or Mighty Mouse's supporters to show up, because I invited them and I fully expected them to show up. Even if I really didn't think they would, I expected them to. And I was ready for it. I was prepared for it. I was ready to get down and dirty. So when I would do my Ruckin' Lives in California, I would tell them, look, I'm going to the Culver City Overlook. The amazing Lucas knows where that is. I told him, you know, I'm gonna be over here. I told Minor Mouse's supporters, I'm gonna be at this motherfucking, his LA supporters, his so-called LA people, which he really ain't got, right? They really Orange County motherfuckers. I told him, hey, show up. I'm gonna be rucking around this time with 70 pounds on my back. But guess what? If somebody showed up and attacked me out of nowhere, I would expect that. I was prepared for that eventuality. It never happened, but I was prepared for it to happen, because I invited it. I said, all right, you got a problem with me talking about your Minor Mouse friend? Come handle it. You got a problem I have a problem with you threatening my children? So I'm inviting you to come deal with me, because you clearly have a problem. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it no more, because I gave motherfuckers a year and a half before I left California to come do it. They never did it. So now you got to work a little harder if you want to come find me. I'm not going to give my address out. I'm not going to tell people where I'm at. But the bottom line is, even if I don't, I expect, let's say, you know, I become a bigger influence, whatever, and have more followers, and have more subscribers, and get myself out there in the algorithm more. I'm going to expect haters to make comments and hate. I'm going to expect supporters to make positive comments and support. And if someone doesn't like what I'm doing and they're criticizing, that's okay. What I'm not going to do is tell a bunch of people to come fight me somewhere, and then when they show up to fight me, I'm gonna act brand new and be like, I don't want no problems. Yes, you do, Wes Watson. You wanted problems. That's why You told people to come show up to give you problems. And the Officer Tatum feels like Wes Watson was justified in what he did. And that just tells you what an idiot Brandon Tatum is. He's a fucking idiot. Just like Wes Watson. Wes Watson is a fucking idiot. If he had any sense about him, see, this is what I don't understand this. Why do you people with all these millions of followers who you're earning a living on the internet? You're a famous motherfucker. You're a public figure. And you're earning a certain level of income. Why are you not hiring advisors to check your ass? Why aren't you having people in your circle that are checking you? So that lets you know you don't have people in your circle that are really looking out for you. Because if you did, when you started running your mouth on Instagram, telling people to show up to the gym, you would have gotten hundreds of phone calls. And you know what I'm saying? If you're smart, you would have somebody that has access to your social media account that when you start talking that silly shit, they'll come through and they'll shut down your fucking live stream. Right? Out of nowhere. You start talking about, oh, come find me at this address. As soon as you say that, boom, boom. Your live gets shut down, your address doesn't get put out there, and you get a phone call. Wes. What the fuck happened to my live, man? What the fuck? I was doing a live stream and Wes, I shut that shit down. Why'd you do that? Well, because your dumb ass was telling people to come to the gym to fight you, and it's not, first of all, it's not your gym. So you're inviting problems and trouble to someone else's establishment. Number one, that's a violation. Number two, you don't know who's going to actually show up. If you don't know if somebody's going to take you up on that and actually show up, and you don't know what type of person these people are going to be when they show up and take you up on your idiotic offer. You need to knock this shit off, right? You need to knock this shit off. Stop trying to hand out your address and sit your ass down somewhere. That's what should have happened. See, you don't have somebody in your corner or in your circle that gives enough of a fuck about you to stop that shit from happening. And that would be smarter business-wise, would it not? Because guess what? If Wes Watson had somebody like that in his corner, guess what? If he had somebody like that in his corner, he would not be in this position. That means that the flow of income from him being a social media influencer would not be disrupted. Now, it will be disrupted if he goes to jail. If he goes to prison for 5 years, that's 5 years of not earning a great living on YouTube and Instagram or whatever you're doing. You don't get to sell your whacked out programs. You don't get to do this. You don't get that. You're shaving 5 years of earning potential off because you don't have somebody that can check your ass when you do some stupid shit. Yeah. That would be the best thing for you. Invest in a team that's going to look out for you when you start on that silly shit. When the roid rage kicks in and you want to fight everybody, or you want to tell everybody to come fight you, and when they show up, you done cycle down and you're calm now and you really don't want to fight, but then they showed up and they put their hand on you, and that roid rage kicks back in. Hey, man. I mean, Wes Watson felt like he should have been able to kill the guy. And the guy he's talking to with the rapper is telling him, "Oh, you could have pulled out the gun right then and there and ended him." No, what? Y'all need to get y'all shit together, man. Yeah, that's not how stand your ground works. If okay, so if someone attacks you, right, and you beat them up and have them on the ground, you cannot then pull out a gun and shoot them. That's called an execution, right? You're now executing the guy. That's not self-defense, right? You would have a better case if you pulled out the gun and shot him before he even put his hands on you because you felt like your life was threatened. But then you'd have to explain why you were in the DMs with the guy, inviting him to fight you. See, there are a lot of factors involved that stand your ground is not going to be applicable, right? It disqualifies a stand your ground situation. There is no stand your ground if you're inviting a guy to fight you. They show up and there is no proof that they have any weapons, right? They haven't pulled out a gun. They just shoved you, right? Like, come on, man, let's fight. Come on, let's get it cracking. Well, pulling out a gun and shooting somebody for like that that's not gonna work. Now, if you are like, there's a perfect example. There was this guy in Georgia, black dude, that was in a restaurant that got attacked by this white dude. He didn't know the white dude from Adam. It was just a random guy. He was talking shit. He was with his buddies and all that shit. The white dude had friends with him. And they started talking shit. He started pushing up on him, putting his hands on him, you know, trying to bully the guy. The black dude just pulls out a gun and shoots him in the stomach. The white dude ended up dying, but guess what? The dude didn't go to jail because that was actual self-defense. He had no idea what this white dude was gonna do. He had no idea what his buddies were gonna do. But when he shot the white guy, guess what happened? The white guy, you know, I think he survived long enough to leave, but he ended up dying later. But him and his buddies, they left. And so the guy was no longer in danger. That's, you know, that's an actual legitimate self-defense situation. And when the attacker was leaving, the dude didn't just start shooting him in the back. See, there are ways to do it, and there are lines you should not cross. Rise and Evens was good. Yeah, I definitely wanted to touch on it. Rise and Evens. By the way, Wes makes very irrational decisions, especially when being on all the super sauce. Exactly. Yeah, that super sauce, you want to stay away from that. You don't need to do that, right? You can get fit, and you know, if you are trying to compete in bodybuilding or whatever, that's a whole different story. As long as it's controlled and you know you have a medical professional that is helping you, it's still something that I don't suggest at all, right? I don't like. There are ways you can get fit, and in the process of getting fit, you will look better, right? Let's say you're obese and all that shit and out of shape. Well, you start to get in shape by moving more, eating less, eating better food, you know, eating healthier food, eating what's better for you. You start working out, you start doing resistance training, you're naturally going to start looking better, right? And you don't need to roid out to do it. You don't need to take juice. You don't need to do that, right? And it'll be a slow process. You do it naturally, you do it gradually. The slower you do it, the slower you take, not the slower you take, but the longer you take to get in shape, the longer it's going to take to get back out of shape if something happens. Like say you get an injury and you can't work out as hard as you want. Well, you know, you're not just going to get fucking back sloppy just like that, right? But if you're on steroids and you use steroids to achieve super physiological goals, well, once you stop using those steroids, it's like that, right? Your gains go away just like that. But if you're natural, you do it naturally, you do it slowly, you don't try to rush it, right? It's going to stick with you longer, right? And on top of that, you reduce the chance of injury, right? You do it slowly, gradually, take your time, do it right, apply the science to it. Progressive overload, don't ego lift, don't overtrain too much, because overtraining can be good, right? Overtraining will get you past that threshold. It'll help you break through that plateau. But you don't want to do that shit every day. You don't want to be overtraining every day. And once you do it like that, right? I mean, it takes shit. You can stay in great shape for a long time, and then at some point, you can kind of ease back and be in maintenance mode, and you'll be good. Like me, it took me. I went from 2, because at first you lose weight. When you start losing weight and you're obese, you lose weight fast. Like it's the hell. You lose weight very fast. And that's because you're really, the bigger you are, the more calories you're gonna burn doing exercise, right? And if you're also eating less food, eating less crap, that's also going to help you lose weight fast, right? You lose weight faster when you're at your most obese, right? Like me, I was 200 and almost 290 pounds in 2019. And I lost a whole lot of weight fast, like the first 40 or 50 pounds, I want to say. Yeah, the first 40 or 50 pounds, I lost weight fast, maybe even first 60 pounds. It was, just from going keto and exercising more. But then it slowed down, right? And I was okay with that. I was like, okay, now I lost all this water weight. My metabolism slowed down because I'm carrying less weight. And so now it's all about, okay, I still want to lose weight though. I still want to get under 200 pounds so that I'm more comfortable and it's easier on my joints. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it started to take longer, but I wasn't in a rush. I was like, okay, it's going to take a little longer. And yeah, I lost basically 100 pounds. It took me about 2 years to lose about 100 pounds. And I haven't gotten above 200 pounds since then. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, guys. But yeah, Wes Watson was definitely, he wasn't very smart about this whole situation. From before the guy showed up to fight him, just was not very smart, not very intelligent. Exactly. Realizing even better to be fit and mobile, right? Exactly. And I was never interested in being a bodybuilder. So nothing I was never interested in. So I was not interested in, I'm going to cut all this weight and then I'm going to bulk. No, I don't need the bulk, right? Yeah, so I was able to lose all that weight, and now I'm maintaining my weight between 185 and 195. That's where I stay at, right? Mostly around 190. That's basically where my medium weight is like 190, 192. So, but yes, it feels better to be lighter on my feet, more agile, more athletic, right? To be able to sprint 40 meters in less than 13 seconds at my age, you know what I'm saying, with the joint problems I got, I'll take it, right? I mean, 13 seconds, less than 13 seconds. A 45-year-old man running running 100 meters, 40, running 100 meters in less than 13 seconds. I'll take it. I'm able to do that because I'm lighter on my feet, and I was always good at sprinting because I have better, just genetically, I have, fast muscle twitch fibers. Everybody has them, but mine are a lot more activated, right? My fast twitch muscle fibers are more utilized than my slow twitch. So I was never really good at long distance running. I was always better at sprinting. So I train in sprinting. I don't train in long distance running. And besides, it has been shown that, training in sprints will help improve your long distance running, right? But long distance running does not help you improve your sprinting, right? So depending on how much you sprint and all that shit, if you're really good at sprinting and you train in sprinting, that will help you with long distance running. And you don't even have to train in long distance running. You can train in sprinting, sprinting. That will help you with your long distance endurance. You know what I mean? So, and I ruck. So instead of running long distance, I'll ruck long distance. Oh yeah, realize even I know it is. Yeah. Less than 13 seconds. I mean that's better than most people have my age. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's just natural for me. Like I don't, and when I got to under 13 seconds, I wasn't like training for months and months and months. No, it's just what I was doing, and it wasn't like in the winter. It was almost winter was coming up. It was like at the end of fall, and I wasn't like training for a PR in the 100 meter or 100 yards, but what it was that's just genetically I'm better at sprints. And that's with me. I would do that on my overtraining days. So I would take maybe 2 overtraining days a week. I would train on the heavy bag for like 20 something rounds, over 20 rounds. Then I'd go to the park and I would do some 40 meter drills, different exercises. And I would do some jump roping in between that, right? I'll jump rope, do a 40 meter drill, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be like Muay Thai or boxing. And then I would do that like, I want to say 8 times. I would do 8 rounds of that. And then I would do sprinting after that. So I was already exhausted before I did the 100 meter sprint. Right? I went through all this pre-exhaustion and did the 100-yard sprint and was still able to get under 13 seconds. And I would do that like 8 times. And my shortest time would be just under 13 seconds. But never more than 14. Which I think is crazy. But that's how I know I'm genetically equipped for sprints. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this live stream, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and end this live stream, and I'm gonna holler at y'all later. But yeah, man, if there's any like influencers out there, don't do that silly shit, man. Like, people are going to hate, people are going to troll, people are going to threaten to beat you up and threaten you, and they're going to talk all kind of shit. But it's up to you not to, you know, not to fall for the shit, right? Because you are in the public eye, and you're in the if you're in the public eye, you're going to have a lot more scrutiny. You're going to get a lot more criticism. People are going to want to challenge you more. You just can't let people get you off your square. Roy Eisen even says all that rucking you would do up and down those steps, hours, but have a good. Oh yes, I did. Yes, back when I was in Cali, I still ruck. I just don't. There's nowhere like that nearby where I am in South Carolina for me to do that level of rucking, right? And you know, it's kind of disappointing, but can I go? I know I'm not really doing the right thing right now. But I mean, I know that yeah, there's not really anywhere for me to do that in South Carolina. So I would have to go out maybe 45 minutes to an hour to get to somewhere like that, where there's that level of elevation. But I will one day. One day I'll do a rucking live at a place like that where the elevation's a little higher, where it's a lot more challenging. And that's going to be basically in a wooded area. You know, it's not going to be any stairs. It's going to be a trail. So anyway, I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. Y'all just stay up. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.